Have you ever spoken, but felt like no one was really listening? You shared your thoughts, but your words seemed to disappear in the air. The truth is, most people talk, but very few communicate with impact. Impactful communication is not about speaking louder. It is not about using big words. It is about making every word count. In this audiobook, you will learn how to speak in a way that captures attention, builds trust, and makes people truly listen. You will discover how to express ideas clearly, deliver messages with confidence, and influence others without forcing your voice. These are skills used by leaders, speakers, and people who are remembered long after they finish talking. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you never miss powerful audiobooks like this one. Now, let's begin the journey of learning how to communicate with real impact. Chapter 1: Understanding what real communication means. Most people think communication means talking. They think if they say enough words, their message will be understood. But real communication is not about how much you talk. It is about how deeply your words land in another person's mind. It is about impact. It is about connection. It is about meaning. Every day, people speak without being heard. They explain things again and again. They repeat themselves. They feel ignored. They feel frustrated. This happens because talking and communicating are not the same thing. Talking is making sound. Communicating is creating understanding. You can talk for 10 minutes and still say nothing. You can say one sentence and change someone's thinking. That is the power of real communication. Real communication begins with intention. Before you speak, you must know why you are speaking. Are you trying to inform? Are you trying to explain? Are you trying to persuade? Are you trying to connect? When you do not know your purpose, your words lose direction. They become noise. People listen to purpose. They ignore noise. Many people speak to release their thoughts. They speak to feel heard. But strong communicators speak to serve the listener. They think about the other person first. They think about what the listener needs to hear. They think about what will make sense to them. Impactful communication is not about you. It is about the person listening. This is where many people fail. They focus on sounding smart. They focus on using complex words. They focus on proving they know something. But when you focus on impressing, you lose connection. People stop listening when they feel talked down to. Simple language is powerful. Simple language respects the listener. Simple language invites understanding. If a child can understand your words, your communication is strong. Real communication also requires clarity. Clarity means your message is easy to follow. One idea flows into the next. There is no confusion, no guessing, no hidden meaning. Confusion breaks attention. Clarity holds it. When people feel confused, their minds drift. They stop listening. They start thinking about something else. But when your message is clear, their focus stays with you. Clarity comes from thinking before speaking. Many people speak while thinking. This leads to messy sentences, broken ideas, long explanations. When you think first, your words become clean. They become sharp. They become memorable. Real communication also depends on emotion. People do not remember facts alone. They remember how words made them feel. If your words feel cold, people disconnect. If your words feel human, people lean in. You do not need to be dramatic. You need to be real. A calm voice can be powerful. A sincere tone can change a room. A simple story can stay in someone's mind for years. Emotion creates impact. Not loud emotion, honest emotion. Another key part of real communication is listening. Many people want to speak more than they want to understand. They wait for their turn to talk. They do not listen fully. This creates shallow conversation. When you listen deeply, your responses improve. You answer better. You connect better. You speak with relevance. People feel seen. People feel valued. People listen to those who listen to them. Real communication is a two-way exchange, not a performance, not a speech. It is a shared experience. Timing also matters. Saying the right thing at the wrong time reduces impact. Even true words can fail if spoken too early or too late. Impactful communicators feel the moment. They wait when needed. They speak when the listener is ready. Patience increases impact. Another part of real communication is honesty. People can sense fake words. They can sense exaggeration. They can sense manipulation. When words feel fake, trust disappears. Honest words build trust. Trust makes people listen. You do not need to pretend you know everything. Saying, "I don't know," can increase respect. It shows confidence. It shows humility. It shows truth. Real communication does not require perfection. It requires presence. Being present means focusing fully on the conversation, not thinking about your phone, not planning your next sentence, not worrying about how you look. Presence makes your words stronger. When you are present, people feel it. Real communication also means respecting silence. Silence is not empty. Silence gives space. Silence allows thinking. Silence adds weight to words. Some of the strongest messages are followed by silence. Many people rush to fill silence because they feel uncomfortable. But silence used well creates power. It shows control. It shows confidence. Impact comes from restraint. Another important part of communication is understanding human attention. Attention is fragile. People lose focus quickly. Long explanations drain attention. Repetition without value loses attention. Impactful communicators respect attention. They get to the point. They remove unnecessary words. They value simplicity. One strong sentence is better than 10 weak ones. Relevance is also important. People listen when something matters to them. If they cannot see how your words affect their life, they stop caring. Impactful communicators connect ideas to real life. They show why the message matters. Why should I care? That question is always in the listener's mind. If you answer that question, people listen. Another part of real communication is confidence. Not loud confidence, calm confidence. Confidence in your voice, confidence in your message. Confidence comes from preparation. When you understand what you want to say, fear reduces. When you believe in your message, your voice becomes steady. Confidence makes people feel safe listening to you. But confidence does not mean dominating. Dominating pushes people away. True confidence invites people in. Impactful communicators speak with certainty, not arrogance. They are open. They are calm. They are grounded. Communication also requires adaptability. Not every person is the same. Not every situation is the same. The way you speak to a friend is different from how you speak to a team. The way you explain to a child is different from how you explain to an adult. Adapting does not mean changing who you are. It means adjusting how you express yourself. Flexibility increases impact. Real communication also involves body language, your posture, your facial expression, your eye contact. These speak before words do. If your body shows disinterest, your words lose power. If your body shows calm confidence, your words gain strength. Words and body must agree. Another key idea is intention versus interpretation. You may intend one meaning. The listener may hear another. Impactful communicators check understanding. They clarify. They adjust. They do not assume they were understood. They confirm it. This prevents misunderstanding. This prevents conflict. Real communication reduces friction. It does not create it. Impactful communication also requires responsibility. You take responsibility for how your words land, not just how you mean them. If someone feels hurt, you listen. You clarify. You adjust. You do not dismiss. Strong communicators care about impact, not ego. Communication is not about winning. It is about connecting. Many arguments happen because people want to win instead of understand. Winning may feel good for a moment, but understanding builds lasting respect. Impactful communication builds bridges. It does not burn them. Another important part is consistency. If your words and actions do not match, your communication loses power. People trust behavior more than speech. When your actions support your words, people listen more closely. Consistency creates credibility. Real communication is a long-term skill. You build it daily, through practice, through awareness, through reflection. You will make mistakes. Everyone does. Mistakes are teachers. They show you what works and what doesn't. Do not fear mistakes. Learn from them. Each conversation is training. Each interaction is practice. Impact grows over time. The goal is not to speak perfectly. The goal is to be understood. The goal is to connect. The goal is to leave something behind in the listener's mind. A clear idea, a useful thought, a feeling of trust. That is impact. When you understand what real communication means, everything changes. You stop chasing attention. You start earning it. You stop forcing words. You start choosing them. You become intentional. You become aware. You become effective, and people begin to listen. Not because you are loud, not because you demand it, but because your words matter. This is the foundation of impactful communication, and this foundation will support everything you learn next. Chapter 2. Why people stop listening and how to fix it. People stop listening faster than you think. Sometimes it happens in seconds. You may still be talking, but their mind has already left. They are looking at their phone. They are thinking about something else. They are waiting for you to finish. This is one of the biggest problems in communication. Most people do not stop listening because they are rude. They stop listening because something broke their attention. Maybe the message felt confusing. Maybe it felt boring. Maybe it felt too long. Maybe it felt too long. Maybe it felt irrelevant. When attention breaks, communication fails. To communicate with impact, you must first understand why people stop listening. One reason people stop listening is overload. Too many words, too many ideas, too much detail. The human brain gets tired quickly. When people feel overwhelmed, they disconnect. They protect their energy by tuning out. Impactful communicators respect mental space. They do not flood the listener, they guide them. They take one step at a time. One clear idea is easier to hold than many weak ones. Another reason people stop listening is confusion. When a message feels messy, people lose patience. They cannot see the point. They cannot follow the path. They do not know where the speaker is going. Confusion kills interest. Clarity keeps attention alive. If you want people to listen, you must organize your thoughts before speaking. You must know what you want to say. You must know the main idea. When the main idea is clear, everything else supports it. Many people speak in circles. They repeat the same thought in different ways without adding value. This makes listeners impatient. They feel trapped. They feel bored. Strong communicators respect time. They move forward. They build momentum. Another reason people stop listening is lack of relevance. If people cannot see how your words matter to them, they stop caring. Their mind asks one question again and again. Why does this matter to me? If you do not answer that question, attention fades. To fix this, you must connect your message to real life, to the listener's problems, to their goals, to their emotions. When people feel seen, they listen. Tone also affects attention. A flat tone feels lifeless. A harsh tone feels uncomfortable. A rushed tone feels stressful. A calm and steady tone feels safe. People listen when they feel comfortable. Your tone should match your message. Serious topics need calm tones. Encouraging words need warmth. Important points need firmness. Tone gives emotion to words. Another reason people stop listening is ego. When a speaker sounds arrogant, listeners resist. When a speaker talks down to others, attention disappears. No one likes to feel small. Impactful communication is humble. It invites, it does not force, it respects the listener's intelligence. Simple words do not mean weak thinking. They mean strong communication. People also stop listening when a speaker talks too much about themselves. Stories can be powerful, but when stories only serve the speaker's ego, they disconnect the audience. Good stories serve the message, not the ego. Listening fades when people feel ignored. If someone feels unheard, they stop listening in return. Communication becomes one-sided. This creates distance. Listening builds listening. When you listen well, people listen back. Another reason attention breaks is emotional mismatch. If the listener feels stressed and the speaker sounds casual, connection breaks. If the listener feels calm and the speaker sounds aggressive, resistance grows. Impactful communicators read emotional signals. They adjust, they slow down, they soften, they ground the conversation. Reading the room matters. People also stop listening when there is no structure. When a message feels endless, attention drops. People need direction. They want to know where the message is going. You do not need formal structure, you need flow. Beginning, development, meaning. When listeners feel progress, they stay. Another attention killer is filler words. Too many unnecessary sounds distract the brain. They weaken confidence. They break rhythm. Pauses are better than fillers. Silence gives strength. People also stop listening when they feel judged. Judgment closes minds. It creates defense. It blocks openness. Even correct messages fail when delivered with judgment. Impactful communication removes judgment. It focuses on understanding, not blaming. Another reason people tune out is repetition without value. Repeating a point can help, but repeating without adding meaning becomes noise. Each repetition should add clarity, or emotion, or insight. Otherwise, it subtracts attention. Now let's talk about how to fix all this. The first fix is intention. Before you speak, ask yourself one question. What do I want the listener to understand? This question sharpens your message. It removes unnecessary words. Clear intention creates clear speech. The second fix is simplicity. Short sentences, simple language, one idea at a time. Simplicity respects attention. If you cannot explain something simply, you do not understand it deeply enough. The third fix is relevance. Always connect your words to the listener. Use examples they relate to. Speak to their needs. Speak to their reality. When people feel included, they listen longer. The fourth fix is tone control. Slow down. Breathe. Use calm strength. Let your tone support your words. The fifth fix is listening back. Pay attention to reactions, faces, body language, energy. Adjust when needed. Communication is alive. It moves. It responds. The sixth fix is honesty. Honest words sound real. Real words hold attention. People listen to truth more than performance. The seventh fix is confidence without dominance. Speak with belief, not force. Calm confidence invites attention. Loud dominance pushes it away. Another powerful fix is storytelling with purpose. Stories create images. Images hold attention. But stories must serve the message. Use stories to explain, not to show off. One more fix is respecting silence. Silence lets ideas settle. Silence adds weight. Silence keeps attention. You do not need to fill every second. Another fix is energy awareness. If energy drops, change pace, change tone. Pause, ask a question, reconnect. Strong communicators feel energy shifts. Fixing listening problems also requires patience. Not every listener will stay focused all the time. That is normal. Your job is not perfection. Your job is improvement. Focus on clarity. Focus on connection. Focus on meaning. Over time, people will notice. They will listen longer. They will engage more. They will respond better. Impactful communication is not about forcing attention. It is about earning it. When your words are clear, relevant, calm, and honest, attention follows naturally. People do not listen because they must. They listen because they want to. And when people want to listen, every word matters more. This is how you keep attention. This is how you fix broken listening. This is how your words begin to land. And this skill will support everything you learn next. Chapter 3. Speaking with clarity. So every word matters. Many people speak a lot, but say very little. Their sentences are long. Their ideas are mixed. Their message feels heavy. Listeners try to follow, but they get lost. When this happens, attention fades. Impact disappears. Clarity is the foundation of powerful communication. When your words are clear, people relax. They do not struggle to understand. They do not guess your meaning. They do not feel confused. They stay with you. Clarity does not mean saying less. It means saying only what matters. Clear communication starts in the mind. If your thoughts are messy, your words will be messy. If your thoughts are clear, your words will follow. Before speaking, you must know your message. Not every detail, just the core idea. The one thing you want the listener to remember. When that is clear, everything else becomes easier. Many people speak while thinking. Their brain is searching while their mouth is moving. This creates broken sentences, unclear points, extra words. Listeners feel the confusion. Strong communicators think first. Then they speak. Thinking first does not take long. Even a short pause helps. A moment of silence can organize your thoughts. Silence is not weakness. Silence is preparation. Clear speakers respect pauses. Another part of clarity is sentence length. Long sentences lose people. Short sentences land better. They are easier to hear, easier to remember, easier to feel. Short sentences give power to words. Clear speakers break ideas into simple parts. They explain one thing at a time. They do not rush. They do not overload. Overloading kills clarity. When you give too much information at once, the listener's mind shuts down. They stop processing. They stop caring. But when you guide them step by step, they follow. Clarity also means choosing the right words. Simple words work best. Not because listeners are weak, but because simple words are strong. Simple words remove barriers. They invite understanding. Using big words does not make you smart. Making people understand. If you need complex words to sound intelligent, your message will lose impact. But if you can explain something simply, people respect you more. Clear communication also avoids vague language. Words like maybe, sort of, kind of, and stuff weaken meaning. They create uncertainty. They confuse listeners. Clear speakers are specific. Specific words paint pictures. They give direction. They reduce doubt. Instead of saying soon, say tomorrow. Instead of saying a lot, say how much. Instead of saying later, say when. Specific words make your message real. Another part of clarity is structure. Even casual speech needs flow. There should be a sense of movement. One idea leads to the next. Listeners feel progress. When people feel stuck in a loop, they stop listening. Clear communication moves forward. Tone also affects clarity. If your tone is rushed, people feel stressed. If your tone is flat, people feel bored. If your tone is calm, people feel safe. Calm tone supports clear thinking. When you slow your tone, your words become cleaner. You give space for understanding. Clarity also depends on confidence. When you doubt your words, your message weakens. Hesitation spreads confusion. Strong communicators trust their message. Confidence does not mean shouting. It means steadiness. Another key part of clarity is removing filler sounds. Sounds like interrupt flow. They distract listeners. They break rhythm. Silence is better than fillers. A pause sounds confident. A filler sounds unsure. Clear speakers use pauses to think. They do not rush to fill space. Clarity also comes from knowing your listener. You must adjust your words to who is listening. A child needs different language than an adult. A beginner needs different explanation than an expert. When you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. Impactful communication speaks to the listener in front of you. Another clarity killer is emotion overload. Strong emotions can twist words. Anger sharpens language. Fear shortens thinking. Stress clouds expression. Clear communicators manage emotion first. They calm themselves. They breathe. Then they speak. When emotion is controlled, clarity returns. Listening also improves clarity. When you listen carefully, you respond accurately. You avoid misunderstanding. You avoid guessing. Many people answer questions they were not asked. This confuses listeners. Clear communicators answer what was said, not what they assume. Clarity also requires honesty. When people hide meaning, clarity disappears. When people exaggerate, clarity breaks. When people pretend, clarity fades. Honest words are clean words. Another part of clarity is repetition with purpose. Repeating a key idea can help memory, but repetition must add value. It must strengthen understanding, not waste time. Clear repetition feels helpful. Weak repetition feels annoying. Examples improve clarity. Examples turn ideas into images. They show how things work. They connect words to real life. A good example can explain more than a long explanation. Stories also support clarity. A short story can make a lesson stick, but stories must serve the message, not distract from it. Clear communicators cut unnecessary details. They remove side paths. They stay focused. Focus creates clarity. Clarity also means being direct. Many people speak around a topic. They avoid saying what they mean. They fear discomfort. This creates confusion. Direct does not mean rude. Direct means honest and clear. When people know where you stand, they trust you more. Another clarity mistake is trying to please everyone. When you try to say what everyone wants to hear, your message becomes empty. Clear communication comes from truth, not approval. Say what matters. Say it respectfully. Say it clearly. Clarity builds trust. When people understand you, they feel safe. When they feel safe, they listen more. Clear communication reduces conflict. Misunderstanding causes arguments. Clarity prevents them. Many conflicts are not about disagreement. They are about confusion. When you clarify, tension drops. Clarity also helps leadership. Leaders must give clear direction, clear goals, clear expectations. Confused communication creates chaos. Clear leaders earn respect. Clarity improves teaching. Students learn faster. Mistakes reduce. Confidence grows. Clarity improves relationships. Fewer arguments, more understanding, stronger bonds. Clarity improves persuasion. When people understand your point, they can consider it. Confusion blocks persuasion. Clarity improves confidence. When you speak clearly, you feel stronger. When you feel stronger, your voice improves. Clarity is a habit. It improves with practice. Each conversation is a chance to simplify, to sharpen, to improve. Ask yourself after speaking, was my message clear? Could it be simpler? Did they understand? Reflection builds clarity. Clear communication is not about perfection. It is about effort. It is about awareness. It is about caring enough to be understood. When you speak with clarity, people listen longer, they remember more, they respect you. Your words begin to matter. Clarity turns talking into communication. Clarity turns noise into meaning. Clarity turns attention into impact. And when every word matters, people begin to listen to every word. Chapter 4. Using your voice to create impact. Your voice is more powerful than you think. It is not just sound. It carries emotion. It carries confidence. It carries meaning. Two people can say the same words, but only one will be remembered. The difference is not the words. The difference is the voice. Many people ignore their voice. They focus only on what they say. But how you say something matters just as much as what you say. Sometimes it matters more. Your voice tells people how to feel about your words. If your voice sounds unsure, people doubt you. If your voice sounds rushed, people feel stressed. If your voice sounds calm, people feel safe. If your voice sounds confident, people listen closely. Voice creates impact before the listener even understands the words. The first part of using your voice well is awareness. Most people do not notice how they sound. They speak on habit, fast, flat, quiet, or tense. Awareness changes this. When you notice your voice, you gain control over it. Listen to yourself when you speak. Are you rushing? Are you whispering? Are you monotone? Are you tense? Awareness is the first step to improvement. Your breathing controls your voice. When you breathe shallow, your voice becomes weak. When you breathe deep, your voice becomes steady. Calm breathing creates a calm voice. A calm voice creates trust. Before speaking, take a slow breath. Let your shoulders relax. Let your chest open. This simple action can change how you sound. Many people speak from their throat. This creates tension. It makes the voice thin. A relaxed voice comes from steady breathing. When your breath is calm, your voice carries strength without force. Volume is another part of vocal impact. Speaking too softly makes people strain. Speaking too loudly makes people uncomfortable. Impact comes from balance. Your voice should fill the space, not attack it. You do not need to shout to be heard. Clear tone and steady pace are stronger than loud volume. People listen more when they feel respected, not pressured. Pace matters more than people realize. Fast speech often comes from nervousness. The speaker wants to finish quickly, but fast speech reduces impact. It blurs meaning. It overwhelms listeners. Slow speech gives power to words. When you slow down, people hear each word. They feel the meaning. They stay focused. Slowing down also helps you think better while speaking. Pauses are part of voice control. A pause is not empty. It gives weight. It allows the listener to absorb the message. It allows you to choose your next words. Strong speakers use pauses on purpose. After an important sentence, pause. Let it land. Let it sink in. Silence creates impact. Tone is another key part of voice. Tone shows emotion. A flat tone sounds bored. A sharp tone sounds angry. A warm tone feels human. Your tone should match your message. Serious messages need calm strength. Encouraging messages need warmth. Important points need firmness. Tone changes how words feel. The same sentence can sound caring or rude depending on tone. This is why voice matters so much in communication. Another part of voice impact is variation. Speaking in the same tone for too long makes people drift. Small changes keep attention alive. Slight changes in pitch. Slight changes in pace. These create rhythm. Rhythm keeps people listening. Think of your voice like music. Too flat becomes boring. Too loud becomes noise. Balanced rhythm creates interest. Confidence also lives in the voice. Even if you feel nervous inside, your voice can still sound calm. Confidence is not about emotion. It is about control. You build vocal confidence through practice. The more you speak, the more comfortable you become. The more comfortable you become, the steadier your voice sounds. Reading aloud helps. Recording yourself helps. Speaking slowly helps. Awareness builds confidence. Many people fear silence because they think it makes them look weak, but silence makes you sound strong. It shows control, it shows thought, it shows confidence. People respect speakers who are not afraid of silence. Your voice also shows honesty. When your voice matches your words, people trust you. When your voice and words disagree, people feel something is off. For example, saying you are fine with a tense voice sends a different message. People believe the voice, not the words. This is why alignment matters. Your body supports your voice. Posture affects sound. When you stand or sit straight, your lungs open. Your voice becomes clearer. Slouching weakens sound. Your face also affects your voice. A relaxed face sounds warmer. A tense face sounds sharp. Smiling slightly can soften tone even when discussing serious topics. Another part of vocal impact is intention. When you know why you are speaking, your voice becomes focused. Purpose gives direction to sound. A voice without purpose feels empty. A voice with purpose feels strong. Emotion also lives in the voice. You do not need to act emotional. You only need to care. When you care about your message, it naturally shows. People listen to voices that feel real. Fake excitement sounds forced. Real belief sounds calm and steady. Your voice can also slow down conflict. When emotions rise, lowering your voice reduces tension. Speaking softly during anger forces the other person to slow down. Calm voices calm rooms. Raising your voice often escalates conflict. Lowering your voice controls it. This is a powerful skill. Voice control also helps leadership. Leaders who speak calmly create trust. Leaders who speak clearly give direction. Leaders who speak steadily inspire confidence. A shaky voice creates doubt. A steady voice creates belief. Voice impact also depends on consistency. If you speak clearly one day and mumble the next, people feel confused. Consistent tone builds reliability. People trust consistent voices. Your voice also affects how you feel about yourself. When you speak clearly and calmly, you feel stronger. When you hear confidence in your voice, your mind follows. Voice and mindset influence each other. If you want to feel confident, speak calmly. If you want to feel calm, slow your voice. Another important part is removing filler sounds. Sounds like weaken impact. They interrupt rhythm. They signal uncertainty. Replacing fillers with pauses improves your voice immediately. Pauses sound confident. Fillers sound unsure. Your voice should not rush to fill space. Space is part of communication. Voice impact also improves with listening. When you listen carefully, your responses become measured. Measured responses sound confident. Many people speak too quickly because they do not listen fully. Listening slows you down. It grounds your voice. Your voice should serve your message, not fight it. Some voices demand attention. Others invite it. Inviting voices create more impact. They feel respectful. They feel human. Demanding voices push people away. You create an inviting voice by slowing down, by softening tone, by choosing calm strength over force. Your voice is a tool. Like any tool, it improves with use. Do not wait to feel perfect. Practice daily. Speak clearly. Pause often. Breathe deeply. Every conversation is training. Your voice carries your ideas. It carries your values. It carries your confidence. When you master your voice, your words gain power. People listen longer. They remember more. They trust you. Because impact does not come from shouting. It comes from control. It comes from clarity. It comes from calm strength. And your voice is the bridge between your thoughts and the listener's mind. Use it well. Chapter 5. Building trust. So people take your words seriously. Trust is the quiet force behind powerful communication. Without trust, words feel empty. Without trust, even smart ideas are ignored. People may hear you, but they will not believe you. They may listen for a moment, but they will not follow. When people trust you, they lean in. They listen longer. They remember more. They take your words seriously. Trust is not built in one conversation. It is built over time. It grows slowly, and it can break quickly. Strong communicators understand this. They protect trust carefully. Trust begins with honesty. People sense when words are real and when they are fake. You do not need perfect words. You need truthful ones. Honest communication sounds calm. It sounds steady. It sounds human. When you exaggerate, people feel it. When you pretend, people notice. When you hide, people doubt. But when you speak honestly, even difficult words feel easier to accept. Saying "I don't know" builds more trust than pretending to know. Admitting a mistake builds more trust than avoiding it. Honesty shows confidence. It shows maturity. Trust also grows from consistency. If your words change every time, people feel unsure. If your tone changes often, people feel confused. But when your message stays steady, people feel safe. Consistency does not mean repeating the same sentence. It means your values stay the same. Your behavior supports your words. Your actions match what you say. When actions and words match, trust grows naturally. Another part of trust is respect. People trust those who respect them. Respect shows in how you speak. It shows in your tone. It shows in how you listen. Talking down to someone breaks trust. Interrupting breaks trust. Ignoring feelings breaks trust. Respectful communication keeps trust alive. Listening is a strong sign of respect. When you listen fully, people feel valued. When they feel valued, they trust you more. Listening tells them their voice matters. People trust those who listen more than those who talk. Trust also grows when you keep things simple. Overcomplicated speech creates doubt. People wonder why you are hiding behind words. Simple language feels open. It feels clear. It feels honest. Simple words invite trust. Another important part of trust is calmness. When you speak calmly, people feel safe. When you react emotionally, people feel uncertain. Calm communication shows control. Control builds trust. This does not mean hiding emotion. It means managing it. It means choosing words carefully. It means staying grounded. Trust also depends on reliability. If you say you will do something, do it. If you promise something, follow through. Broken promises damage trust quickly. Even small promises matter. Being on time, returning a message, following up. These small actions support your words. People trust those who are reliable. Trust also grows when you show empathy. Empathy means understanding feelings. It means seeing the situation from the other side. It means caring. When people feel understood, they trust you more. When they feel judged, trust disappears. You do not need to agree to show empathy. You only need to understand. Saying "I see why you feel that way" can change the entire conversation. Empathy softens communication. It opens doors. Trust also requires patience. Rushing conversations can feel careless. Rushing decisions can feel unsafe. Patience shows respect. Patience shows care. People trust those who give them time. Another part of trust is clarity. When people know what you mean, they feel secure. Unclear communication creates fear. Fear breaks trust. Clear expectations build trust. Clear boundaries build trust. Clear answers build trust. Trust also grows when you take responsibility. When something goes wrong, blaming others breaks trust. Taking ownership builds it. Saying "that was my mistake" is powerful. It shows strength. It shows honesty. It shows accountability. Accountability builds respect. Respect builds trust. Trust also depends on how you handle conflict. Conflict reveals character. If you stay calm, trust grows. If you become aggressive, trust breaks. If you listen, trust strengthens. People remember how you treat them during difficult moments. Trust also requires humility. Humility means you are open to learning, open to feedback, open to correction. Arrogance blocks trust. Humility invites it. People trust those who admit they are still learning. Trust also comes from fairness, treating people equally, giving credit where it belongs, avoiding favoritism. Fairness creates safety. Safety builds trust. Your voice also affects trust. A steady voice feels reliable. A shaky voice feels unsure. A harsh voice feels unsafe. Tone matters. Trust lives in calm strength. Body language matters too. Eye contact shows honesty. Open posture shows openness. Fidgeting shows nervousness. Calm body language supports trust. Trust also grows when you avoid overpromising. Promising too much creates disappointment. Promising only what you can deliver builds credibility. Credibility is the backbone of trust. Another part of trust is respect for privacy. Sharing personal information without permission breaks trust. Gossip breaks trust. Discretion builds trust. People trust those who protect information. Trust also grows when you are present, when you give full attention, when you are not distracted, when you are fully there. Presence shows care. Care builds trust. Trust also depends on how you respond to mistakes made by others. If you shame, trust breaks. If you support growth, trust grows. People trust those who help them improve, not those who punish them for learning. Trust takes time. It builds slowly through repeated actions, but it can disappear in one careless moment, one disrespectful sentence, one broken promise. That is why strong communicators protect trust carefully. They choose words wisely. They listen fully. They act consistently. Trust changes how people hear you. When trust is strong, people listen deeper. They believe your intentions. They give you attention. Without trust, communication becomes noise. Trust turns words into influence. When people trust you, they give weight to your message. They consider your ideas. They remember your words. This is how leaders are followed. This is how teachers are respected. This is how voices become powerful. Trust does not make you louder. It makes you believable. And when people believe you, they listen to every word. Chapter 6. Learning to read the room and adjust your message. Good communication is not fixed. It moves, it changes, it adapts. What works in one moment may fail in another. Strong communicators understand this. They do not speak the same way to everyone. They do not repeat the same tone in every situation. They read the room, and then they adjust. Many people speak as if they are alone. They focus only on their words. They ignore faces. They ignore reactions. They ignore energy. This is why their message falls flat. Communication is not only about what you say. It is about how others receive it. Reading the room means paying attention. Paying attention to faces, to posture, to silence, to tone, to mood. These signals tell you how your message is landing. People speak even when they are not listening. Their bodies speak even when their mouths are quiet. Strong communicators watch closely. When people lean forward, they are interested. When they look away, attention is fading. When they nod, they understand. When they look confused, clarity is missing. These signs matter. If you ignore them, you lose impact. Reading the room starts with presence. You cannot read anything if your mind is elsewhere. If you are thinking about what to say next, you miss what is happening now. Presence brings awareness. Awareness brings control. Strong communicators stay present. They look at the listener. They notice changes. They adjust in real time. Adjustment is the key. If people look confused, slow down. If people look bored, shorten your message. If people look tense, soften your tone. If people look engaged, go deeper. This flexibility makes communication powerful. Many people fear adjusting because they think it shows weakness. They think sticking to a script makes them strong, but the opposite is true. Adjustment shows confidence. It shows awareness. It shows leadership. Rigid speakers lose rooms. Flexible speakers lead them. Energy is one of the most important things to read. Energy can be high or low, calm or tense, open or closed. If your energy does not match the room, connection breaks. If the room is calm and you are intense, people resist. If the room is tense and you are playful, people disconnect. Matching energy builds trust. You do not need to copy emotions. You need to respect them. Adjusting does not mean acting. It means responding wisely. Tone plays a big role here. Tone should change with the moment. A serious situation needs calm strength. A tired group needs gentle clarity. An excited group needs focused direction. Same words, different tone, very different impact. Another part of reading the room is noticing silence. Silence can mean many things. It can mean thinking. It can mean confusion. It can mean resistance. It can mean agreement. Strong communicators do not fear silence. They observe it. If silence feels heavy, ask a question. If silence feels thoughtful, give space. If silence feels uncomfortable, clarify. Silence gives information. If you listen, facial expressions reveal a lot. Tight faces show stress. Raised eyebrows show doubt. Soft faces show comfort. When you notice these signals, you can adjust before problems grow. If faces look tense, slow down. If faces look lost, explain again. If faces look relaxed, continue. This awareness keeps communication alive. Reading the room also means understanding context. Where are you? Why are people here? What just happened before you spoke? Context shapes attention. A tired audience needs clarity, not long stories. A stressed audience needs calm, not pressure. A confused audience needs structure, not speed. Context decides approach. Strong communicators do not force messages. They fit messages. Another part of adjustment is word choice. If people look overwhelmed, simplify. If people look curious, add detail. If people look impatient, get to the point. One size does not fit all. Many communication failures happen because speakers refuse to adjust. They blame the audience. They say people are not smart enough or not interested enough, but impact comes from responsibility. If people are not listening, something needs to change, and that change starts with the speaker. Adjustment is not losing control, it is gaining influence. Reading the room also means noticing emotional shifts. Sometimes a conversation starts calm and becomes tense. Sometimes excitement turns into doubt. Strong communicators feel these shifts and respond early. Ignoring emotional change lets problems grow. If someone looks defensive, soften language. If someone looks hurt, show empathy. If someone looks angry, slow everything down. Emotion needs attention. Another important part is cultural awareness. Different people react differently. Eye contact, silence, tone. These mean different things to different people. Reading the room requires humility. You must accept that your way is not the only way. Curiosity improves communication. Instead of assuming, observe. Instead of judging, adjust. Reading the room also helps during disagreement. When resistance appears, pushing harder fails. Softening approach works better. When people feel pushed, they push back. When people feel heard, they open up. Adjustment changes resistance into dialogue. Strong communicators also read their own state. If you are tired, your patience drops. If you are stressed, your tone sharpens. Self-awareness helps you correct this before it affects others. You are part of the room too. If your energy is off, reset, breathe, pause, refocus. This small reset can change everything. Another part of reading the room is pacing. If people are engaged, you can move faster. If people look tired, slow down. Pace should serve attention, not ego. Fast is not always effective. Slow is not always boring. Right pace creates flow. Reading the room also improves listening. When you notice reactions, you listen better. Better listening leads to better responses. Better responses increase trust. Trust deepens attention. Adjustment also means knowing when to stop. Sometimes the best choice is ending early. Respecting time builds respect. Dragging on loses it. Strong communicators value attention. They do not waste it. Reading the room takes practice. At first it feels hard. You may miss signals. That is normal. Awareness grows with experience. The more you practice, the sharper you become. Start small. Notice one reaction, then another. Over time, it becomes natural. When you read the room well, people feel understood. When people feel understood, they listen more, they engage more, they trust more. This is how impact grows. Impact does not come from perfect words. It comes from connection. Connection comes from awareness. Awareness comes from presence. Presence comes from intention. When you read the room and adjust, your communication stops being one-sided. It becomes alive. It becomes human. People stop feeling talked at. They start feeling talked with. That is the difference. That is how words land. That is how messages stick. That is how people listen to every word. Chapter 7. Saying less but meaning more. Many people believe powerful communication means talking more. They think more words create more impact. But in reality, the opposite is often true. The most powerful communicators know how to say less and mean more. They choose words carefully. They remove noise. They focus on what truly matters. When you say too much, people stop listening. Their mind gets tired. Their attention fades. Important points get lost in extra words. But when you speak with restraint, every word gains weight. Less words create more impact. This does not mean being silent. It means being intentional. It means removing unnecessary details. It means trusting that fewer words can still deliver strong meaning. Think about moments when someone said very little but you remembered it for years. Those words stayed with you because they were clear, they were simple, they were meaningful. Strong communication respects attention. Attention is limited. People can only focus for so long. When you respect that, people respect you. They listen longer. They remember more. Saying less starts with knowing your message. If you do not know what matters, you say everything. But when you know your core idea, you can cut the rest. Ask yourself, before speaking, what is the one thing I want them to remember? That question removes clutter. Clutter weakens impact. Many people add extra words because they feel insecure. Silence feels uncomfortable. They worry about being judged. So they fill space. But silence can be powerful. Silence shows confidence. Silence gives space for meaning. Strong communicators are not afraid of silence. A pause lets words settle. A pause lets listeners think. A pause shows control. Silence makes words louder. Another reason people say too much is fear of misunderstanding. They try to explain everything. But over-explaining creates confusion. It overwhelms listeners. It reduces clarity. Clear messages do not need defending. If your message is simple, it stands on its own. Saying less also means avoiding repetition without purpose. Repeating a key idea can help memory, but repeating without adding value weakens attention. Each sentence should earn its place. If a sentence does not add meaning, remove it. This mindset sharpens communication. Short sentences land better. They are easier to hear, easier to remember, easier to feel. Long sentences often hide weak ideas. Short sentences expose strong ones. Power lives in simplicity. Saying less also means choosing strong words. Some words carry more meaning than others. Replacing weak phrases with clear ones strengthens your message. Instead of many soft words, choose one clear word. Clear words stick. Another part of meaning more is tone. When you say less, tone becomes more important. Calm tone adds depth. Steady tone adds trust. Rushed tone reduces impact. Slow speech helps meaning. When you slow down, you give space to your words. People hear them fully. They feel them. Saying less also shows respect. Respect for the listener's time, respect for their intelligence, respect for their attention. When you ramble, you send a message. The message says you are not clear, or you are not prepared, or you are not aware. When you speak concisely, you send a different message. You sound confident, you sound prepared, you sound thoughtful. People trust concise communicators. Another part of meaning more is removing filler sounds. Like These sounds add nothing. They weaken rhythm. They break focus. Replacing fillers with pauses makes you sound stronger instantly. Pauses are clean. Fillers are noise. Clean speech builds impact. Saying less also improves listening. When you talk less, you hear more. When you hear more, you respond better. When you respond better, communication improves. Listening creates relevance. Relevance keeps attention. Meaning more also requires clarity of emotion. Too much emotion can blur meaning. Too little emotion can feel empty. Balance creates impact. You do not need dramatic emotion. You need honest emotion. Honesty makes words powerful. Saying less also helps during conflict. Long explanations during tension increase frustration. Short, clear statements, calm situation. Calm words reduce heat. Meaningful words can stop arguments before they grow. Another important idea is timing. Saying less at the right time is better than saying more at the wrong time. The right moment gives words power. Strong communicators wait. They feel the moment, then they speak. Timing adds meaning. Saying less also builds mystery. Not everything needs explanation. Leaving space invites thought. It invites curiosity. People lean in when they want more. Over-explaining removes curiosity. Meaning more also means trusting the listener. Trusting them to think. Trusting them to connect dots. Trusting them to understand. You do not need to control every thought. Communication is shared. Saying less also means avoiding emotional dumping. Sometimes people talk too much because they want relief. They release everything at once. This overwhelms listeners. Choosing words carefully shows respect. Respect builds trust. Trust increases impact. Another part of meaning more is reflection. After speaking, reflect. Did my words land? Were they needed? Could I say it simpler next time? Reflection improves communication over time. Saying less also strengthens leadership. Leaders who speak concisely sound decisive. They sound confident. They sound clear. Long speeches often hide indecision. Clear direction needs fewer words. Meaning more also improves teaching. Students learn faster when explanations are simple. Over-teaching creates confusion. Clear instruction creates confidence. Saying less also helps in persuasion. People resist pressure. Long arguments feel pushy. Short, clear points feel respectful. Respect opens minds. Another part is emotional safety. Short messages reduce risk of misinterpretation. Long messages increase it. Clear words reduce misunderstanding. Meaning more also means knowing when not to speak. Sometimes silence is the best response. When emotions are high, when words could hurt, when listening is needed more than speaking. Silence can protect relationships. Strong communicators know when to stop. Another reason less works is memory. People remember short messages better. Long explanations fade quickly. If you want your message remembered, simplify it. Memorable words are simple words. Meaning more also requires courage. It takes courage to stop talking, to pause, to trust your message, to let silence work. But courage brings respect. When you say less with confidence, people listen harder. They lean in. They pay attention. They remember. That is impact. Saying less does not mean hiding. It means focusing. It means sharpening. It means choosing quality over quantity. Quality beats quantity every time. Your words are tools. Use them carefully. Use only what you need. Leave the rest behind. When you remove noise, meaning becomes clear. When meaning becomes clear, people listen. And when people listen, every word matters. Chapter 8. Creating emotional connection through words. People do not remember every word you say. They remember how your words made them feel. Emotion is the bridge between speaking and impact. Without emotion, communication feels empty. With emotion, even simple words become powerful. Emotional connection is what turns listeners into believers. It turns attention into trust. It turns sound into meaning. Many people try to communicate with logic alone. They explain facts. They give reasons. They present information. Logic is important, but logic alone does not move people. Emotion does. People decide with emotion first, then they justify with logic. When your words touch emotion, people listen deeper. They feel involved. They feel connected. They feel understood. Emotional connection does not mean being dramatic. It does not mean forcing feelings. It means being real. It means caring about what you say. It means understanding what the listener feels. The first step in emotional connection is empathy. Empathy means trying to understand another person's experience. It means seeing the situation from their side. It means feeling with them, not judging them. When people feel understood, they open up. When they open up, communication becomes easier. Empathy begins with listening. You cannot connect emotionally if you do not listen. Listening shows respect. Listening shows care. Listening shows presence. When you listen fully, people feel safe. Safety allows emotion. Emotion creates connection. Your words should reflect understanding. Simple phrases that show you hear them can change everything. When people feel heard, they trust you more. Trust deepens emotional connection. Another part of emotional connection is authenticity. People can sense when words are fake. They can sense when emotions are forced. Authentic communication feels natural. It feels honest. It feels human. You do not need perfect words. You need real ones. If you care, let it show. If you are concerned, say it calmly. If you are grateful, express it simply. Real emotion does not shout. It resonates. Tone plays a huge role in emotional connection. The same words can feel cold or warm depending on tone. A gentle tone invites trust. A harsh tone creates distance. Slow, calm speech allows emotion to breathe. Rushed speech hides emotion. When you slow down, your words feel more sincere. Pauses also help emotion. A pause allows feeling to settle. It gives space for connection. Strong communicators are comfortable with pauses. Another key part of emotional connection is vulnerability. Vulnerability means being open about thoughts or feelings when appropriate. It does not mean sharing everything. It means being honest. When you show vulnerability, people relate. They see you as human. They feel closer. You do not need to appear perfect. Perfection creates distance. Imperfection creates connection. Sharing a small struggle or lesson can make your message stronger. It shows humility. It shows growth. Emotional connection also comes from storytelling. Stories carry emotion naturally. A simple story can create understanding faster than long explanations. Stories help people imagine. They help people feel. They help people remember. But stories must serve a purpose. They must support the message, not distract from it. Another part of emotional connection is language choice. Words carry feeling. Some words sound harsh, some sound gentle. Choosing softer words does not weaken meaning. It strengthens it. For example, saying this is difficult feels more supportive than saying this is wrong. Small changes matter. Emotional connection also requires awareness of the listener's state. Someone who is stressed needs calm. Someone who is sad needs gentleness. Someone who is excited needs focus. Matching emotional tone builds connection. When emotions mismatch, communication breaks. Your body language supports emotional connection too. Eye contact shows care. Open posture shows openness. Calm gestures show safety. If your body shows distance, your words lose warmth. Emotion also comes from intention. Why are you speaking? To help, to support, to guide, to connect. When your intention is positive, people feel it. Hidden intentions break trust. Clear intention builds emotional safety. Another important part is validation. Validation means acknowledging feelings. It does not mean agreeing. It means recognizing emotion as real. Saying that sounds frustrating can reduce tension. Saying I see why that matters builds trust. Validation calms emotion. Calm emotion allows understanding. Emotional connection also grows through patience. People need time to express feelings. Interrupting breaks connection. Rushing breaks trust. Patience tells people they matter. Emotion also lives in consistency. If your tone changes suddenly, people feel unsure. Consistent emotional behavior builds safety. People trust emotional stability. Another part of emotional connection is kindness. Kind words reduce fear. Kind words invite openness. Kind words soften resistance. Kindness is not weakness. It is strength. Strong communicators use kindness intentionally. Emotional connection also helps during disagreement. When people feel emotionally understood, they listen, even if they disagree. Without emotional connection, even good logic fails. Emotion opens the door, logic walks through it. Another important idea is respecting emotional boundaries. Not everyone wants to share deeply. Not every moment is right. Strong communicators sense limits. Pushing emotion breaks trust. Respecting limits builds it. Emotional connection also improves memory. People remember emotionally charged moments more clearly. When your message connects emotionally, it stays longer. This is why emotional communication creates impact. Another way to create emotional connection is sincerity. Speak from belief. Speak from care. Speak from intention. Do not perform. Connect. People respond to sincerity. Emotional connection also requires self-awareness. If you are angry, your words will carry it. If you are anxious, your tone will reveal it. Managing your emotions protects connection. Before speaking, check your state. Breathe. Calm yourself. Then speak. Calm emotion creates safe connection. Another part of emotional connection is respect for silence. Sometimes emotion needs quiet. Silence can support feeling. It can show presence. Silence is not empty. It holds space. Emotional connection also means knowing when to stop talking and start listening. Listening is emotional work. It shows care. People feel connected to listeners more than speakers. Emotional connection also grows over time. It is built through repeated respectful interactions. One conversation starts it. Consistency strengthens it. Trust deepens emotion. Another part is humility. Humility allows learning. It allows correction. It allows growth. Humility invites connection. Arrogance blocks emotion. Emotional connection also depends on clarity. Confusing messages create anxiety. Clear messages create comfort. Comfort allows emotion. Emotion and clarity work together. Another important part is authenticity in emotion. Do not exaggerate. Do not fake. Do not perform. Speak simply. Simple emotion feels real. Emotional connection also requires courage. Courage to be open. Courage to listen. Courage to care. Caring always involves risk, but it also creates impact. Strong communicators are willing to care. Emotional connection does not mean emotional control over others. It means mutual respect, mutual understanding, mutual presence. This kind of connection builds influence naturally. People follow those who understand them. People listen to those who care. People remember those who made them feel seen. When you create emotional connection through words, your communication changes. It becomes warmer, deeper, more human. Your words stop being just sound. They become experience. And when words become experience, people listen to every word. Chapter 9. Speaking with confidence, without sounding forceful. Many people think confidence means being loud. They think confidence means pushing opinions. They think confidence means dominating conversations. But real confidence does not sound forceful. It feels steady. It feels calm. It feels grounded. Force pushes people away. Confidence draws them in. When someone speaks with force, listeners feel pressure. Pressure creates resistance. Resistance blocks listening. But when someone speaks with quiet confidence, Listeners feel safe. Safety opens attention. Confidence begins inside. It begins with believing in your message, not believing you are better than others, believing that what you are saying has value. If you do not believe your words matter, your voice will show doubt. Your tone will weaken. Your message will shrink. Confidence grows from preparation. When you understand your topic, you relax. When you know what you want to say, fear reduces. Preparation removes panic. You do not need to memorize speeches. You need to understand ideas. Understanding allows flexibility. Flexibility builds confidence. Confidence also comes from accepting imperfection. No one speaks perfectly. Mistakes happen. Pauses happen. Forgetting happens. When you accept this, fear loses power. Fear wants perfection. Confidence accepts reality. Another part of confident speaking is posture. How you hold your body affects how you sound. Standing or sitting straight opens your chest. It allows better breathing. Better breathing supports stronger voice. Slouching hides confidence. Upright posture shows presence. Eye contact also supports confidence. Looking at someone calmly shows belief. Avoiding eye contact shows doubt. You do not need to stare. Gentle eye contact is enough. Confidence also lives in pacing. Rushing sounds nervous. Slow speech sounds controlled. Controlled speech sounds confident. Slow does not mean boring. Slow means intentional. Pauses help confidence. Pauses show thought. Pauses show control. Pauses show comfort with silence. People trust speakers who are not afraid to pause. Another important part is tone. Confident tone is not sharp. It is not aggressive. It is steady. It is warm. It is clear. Aggressive tone sounds defensive. Calm tone sounds assured. Confidence also shows in word choice. Confident speakers avoid over-explaining. They avoid defending every sentence. They trust their words. Over-explaining often signals insecurity. When you say something clearly and then stop, it shows belief. Confidence without force also means respecting others' opinions. You can disagree without attacking. You can state your view without dismissing others. Respect increases credibility. People trust confident speakers who are respectful. Another part of confident communication is emotional control. When emotions control your voice, confidence disappears. Anger sharpens tone. Fear tightens speech. Confidence requires calm. Calm does not mean emotionless. It means balanced. Balanced emotion sounds trustworthy. Confidence also grows through experience. Each time you speak, you train your voice. Each time you speak up, you reduce fear. Each time you express yourself, confidence grows. Start small, speak in safe spaces, practice in conversations. Confidence grows step by step. Confidence also depends on self-talk. What you tell yourself matters. If you tell yourself you will fail, your voice reflects that. If you tell yourself you are prepared, your voice steadies. Your inner voice shapes your outer voice. Another part of confident speaking is clarity. Confident speakers are clear. They know their message. They do not hide behind vague language. Clear speech sounds confident. Confidence also means being okay with disagreement. Not everyone will agree with you. That is normal. Confidence does not need approval. Approval seeking weakens voice. Confidence stands on belief, not applause. Another part is humility. Confident people are open to learning. They are open to feedback. They do not pretend to know everything. Humility strengthens confidence. Arrogance hides insecurity. Confidence also means knowing when to stop talking. You do not need to fill space. Silence can hold confidence. Confident speakers are comfortable ending a sentence and letting it sit. Another key part is authenticity. Fake confidence sounds hollow. Real confidence sounds natural. You do not need to act confident. You need to be present. Presence creates confidence. When you are fully in the moment, fear reduces. Your voice aligns. Your tone steadies. Confidence also shows in listening. Confident speakers listen more. They are not afraid of others' ideas. They do not rush to defend. Listening shows strength. Forceful speakers interrupt. Confident speakers wait. Confidence also comes from boundaries. You can say no calmly. You can set limits respectfully. You do not need to explain endlessly. Clear boundaries sound confident. Another important idea is purpose. When you know why you are speaking, confidence follows. Purpose gives direction to voice. Speaking without purpose creates hesitation. Speaking with purpose creates strength. Confidence without force also requires patience. You allow conversations to unfold. You do not rush outcomes. You trust the process. Patience shows security. Another part is body stillness. Too much movement looks nervous. Calm movements look confident. Stillness creates presence. Confidence also comes from consistency. If your tone, message, and behavior align over time, people trust you more. Trust reinforces confidence. Confidence grows when people respond positively. Positive response encourages further expression. Another important part is accepting silence from others. When someone does not respond immediately, confident speakers do not panic. They wait. They allow space. Forceful speakers fill silence. Confident speakers respect it. Confidence also means knowing your limits. You do not speak on things you do not understand. You ask questions. You learn. Knowing what you do not know is confidence. Confidence without force creates influence. People listen willingly. They engage. They respond thoughtfully. Force creates compliance at best. Confidence creates connection. This kind of confidence does not try to win. It tries to communicate. It does not shout. It does not pressure. It does not dominate. It stands calmly. When you speak with this confidence, people feel respected. They feel safe. They feel open. Safety creates listening. Listening creates impact. Confidence without force is powerful because it is rare. Many people confuse loudness with strength, but true strength is calm. Calm voices lead rooms. Calm voices shape decisions. Calm voices are remembered. When you speak with confidence that does not push, your words land deeper. They travel further. They stay longer. And people listen, not because they must, but because they want to. Chapter 10. Making your message memorable long after you speak. Many people speak clearly. Some speak confidently, but very few people are remembered. Impactful communication is not only about being understood in the moment. It is about staying in the listener's mind long after the conversation ends. If people forget what you said, your impact was small. If they remember it later, your impact was real. Memorable communication is not about using fancy words. It is not about sounding dramatic. It is about planting ideas that stay. People remember what feels meaningful. They remember what connects to their life. They remember what feels simple and true. The first key to making your message memorable is focus. When you try to say too many things, people remember nothing. When you focus on one strong idea, it stays. Strong communicators decide what matters most. They build everything around that one idea. This creates clarity. Clarity supports memory. Your listener should be able to say later, "I remember what they meant." If they cannot summarize your message in one sentence, it was too complex. Simplicity makes memory easier. Short sentences are easier to remember. Clear ideas are easier to recall. Long explanations fade quickly. Memorable messages sound clean. Another important part of memory is emotion. People remember feelings more than facts. If your words made someone feel hopeful, calm, inspired, or understood, they will remember you. Emotion locks ideas into memory. This does not mean you must be emotional. It means your words must matter. When something matters, it creates feeling. Meaning creates memory. Stories help memory. A short story can carry an idea farther than a long explanation. Stories give shape to meaning. They allow people to see instead of just hear. But stories must be simple. Too many details confuse. One clear moment works best. Memorable stories serve the idea, not the speaker. Another part of memory is repetition with intention. Repeating a key idea helps it stick, but repetition must feel natural. It must reinforce, not annoy. Saying the same idea in slightly different ways can help understanding, but repeating without purpose weakens attention. Intentional repetition strengthens memory. Tone also affects memory. A calm, steady tone makes people feel safe. When people feel safe, they remember better. Stress blocks memory. Calm supports it. Slow speech helps memory. When you speak slowly, people have time to process. When you rush, ideas slide past. Pauses are powerful here. A pause after an important idea lets it sink in. Silence gives memory space to form. Many strong speakers pause after key sentences. They trust the silence. Another part of memorable communication is relevance. If your message connects to the listener's real life, it stays. If it feels distant, it fades. People remember ideas that help them, that solve problems, that reflect their experience. Ask yourself, why should this matter to them? If you answer that clearly, memory follows. Language choice matters too. Simple words stick better than complex ones. Everyday language feels familiar. Familiar words are easier to remember. Complex words create distance. Simple words create connection. Memorable communication feels conversational, not formal. Another part of memory is rhythm. The way sentences flow affects how they are remembered. Repeated patterns, balanced sentences, clear pacing. Rhythm helps the brain store information. Even small changes in tone and pace can make a message stand out. Another powerful memory tool is contrast. When you compare two ideas clearly, people remember the difference. Before and after. Problem and solution. Noise and clarity. Contrast creates sharp edges. Sharp edges stick. Memorable communicators also know when to stop. Ending at the right moment leaves impact. Dragging on weakens memory. The last thing you say often matters most. A strong closing sentence stays longer than a long ending. But memorable communication is not only about structure. It is also about authenticity. When words feel real, people remember. When words feel fake, they fade. Authenticity builds trust. Trust supports memory. People remember people they trust. Another part of memory is confidence. When you believe in your message, others feel it. Doubt weakens memory. Belief strengthens it. Belief does not shout. It shows quietly. Memorable speakers sound sure, not aggressive. They do not beg for attention. They earn it. Body language also supports memory. Calm posture, steady eye contact, relaxed movement. These support the message. If your body looks tense, people focus on that instead of your words. Calm body language lets ideas stand out. Another part of memory is timing. Saying the right thing at the right moment makes it stick. Even simple words can become powerful when timing is right. Poor timing weakens even strong messages. Good timing amplifies them. Memorable communication also respects attention span. People remember short conversations better than long ones. Focused messages beat long speeches. Respecting attention builds respect. Respect builds memory. Another key is clarity of ending. Many people end conversations without closure. They fade out. This weakens memory. A clear ending gives shape. It signals importance. It tells the brain this mattered. Memorable communication also grows over time. When people hear consistent messages from you, they remember you more clearly. Consistency creates recognition. Recognition builds influence. Another part is humility. Memorable speakers do not try to impress. They try to connect. They speak as humans to humans. Connection supports memory. People remember how you made them feel. They remember whether you listened. They remember whether you respected them. Kindness is memorable. Calm strength is memorable. Clarity is memorable. Memorable communication does not need volume. It needs intention. It does not need drama. It needs meaning. It does not need complexity. It needs truth. When you focus on meaning, memory follows. When people remember your words, your communication lives longer than the moment. It travels with them. It returns later. It influences decisions. That is impact. When you speak with focus, emotion, clarity, and honesty, your words stay. They do not disappear. They do not fade. They remain. And when your message remains, people begin to listen more carefully, because they know your words matter. Chapter 11. Handling difficult conversations with calm and control. Every person faces difficult conversations. There is no escape from them. They happen at work. They happen at home. They happen with friends. They happen when emotions are high and stakes feel real. Many people fear these moments. They avoid them, or they rush through them, or they explode when pressure rises. But difficult conversations do not have to destroy relationships. When handled well, they can strengthen trust and understanding. Difficult conversations are not difficult because of words alone. They are difficult because of emotions: fear, anger, disappointment, stress. These emotions sit under the surface. If ignored, they take control. If managed, communication stays strong. Calm is the foundation of control. When emotions rise, the body reacts first. Breathing becomes shallow. Muscles tighten. Thoughts race. If you speak from this state, your words carry tension. Tension spreads quickly. It turns small issues into big problems. Strong communicators slow themselves first. They pause. They breathe. They ground their body. Calm does not mean weakness. Calm means power. Taking one deep breath before speaking can change everything. Control begins with awareness. You must notice what you are feeling. If you feel angry, name it quietly. If you feel nervous, accept it. Fighting emotion makes it stronger. Acknowledging it gives you choice. When you accept your emotional state, you can choose how to respond instead of reacting. Difficult conversations require intention. Before you speak, know why you are having the conversation. Is it to solve a problem? Is it to clarify a misunderstanding? Is it to set a boundary? Is it to express a feeling? When intention is clear, words become focused. Without intention, conversations drift. They turn into arguments. They turn into blame. Clear intention keeps communication on track. Another important part of handling difficult conversations is listening. Many people enter these talks ready to defend. They prepare answers instead of listening. This blocks understanding. Listening does not mean agreement. It means respect. When people feel heard, their defense is lower. When defense is lower, real conversation becomes possible. Listening during tension takes patience. It takes restraint. It takes courage. But it is powerful. When someone feels heard, they soften. When they soften, they listen back. Tone matters deeply in difficult conversations. Even correct words sound wrong with the wrong tone. Sharp tone triggers defense. Calm tone invites dialogue. Lowering your voice can lower tension in the room. Speaking slowly helps control emotion. Rushed speech feels aggressive. Slow speech feels thoughtful. Thoughtful speech builds trust. Pauses are especially important here. A pause before responding prevents regret. A pause after a strong statement lets it settle. Silence gives space for thinking. Strong communicators are not afraid of silence during tension. Another key part is using clear and simple language. Complex explanations confuse. Confusion increases frustration. Simple words reduce misunderstanding. Say what you mean. Say it clearly. Say it calmly. Avoid exaggeration. Words like always and never trigger defense. They make people feel attacked. Specific language feels fair. Fair language builds trust. For example, saying "this happened yesterday" feels calmer than saying "this always happens." Difficult conversations also require respect. Respect does not disappear during disagreement. It becomes more important. Respect shows in word choice. It shows in tone. It shows in listening. Insults end conversations. Respect keeps them alive. Another important part is separating the person from the issue. Attack the problem, not the person. When people feel personally attacked, they stop listening. Focus on behavior. Focus on impact. Avoid character judgments. This keeps the conversation productive. Handling difficult conversations also means managing expectations. Not every conversation will end in agreement. Sometimes understanding is enough. Sometimes clarity is enough. Sometimes boundaries are enough. Success is not winning. Success is communicating clearly and respectfully. Another key skill is empathy. Try to understand the other person's perspective. Ask yourself what they might be feeling. This does not excuse behavior. It helps you respond wisely. Empathy reduces hostility. Hostility blocks progress. Acknowledging emotion can calm a conversation quickly. Simple recognition helps. It shows you see the human behind the issue. Another part is owning your part. If you made a mistake, admit it. Responsibility builds trust. Blame destroys it. Apologizing sincerely can change the entire tone of a conversation. Avoid defensive language. Defensiveness escalates tension. Calm explanation works better. Difficult conversations also require boundaries. Being calm does not mean allowing disrespect. You can be firm without being aggressive. You can say no without raising your voice. Clear boundaries protect respect. If a conversation becomes unsafe or disrespectful, it is okay to pause it. Stepping away can be a wise choice. Timing matters. Sometimes the best response is not immediate. Time helps emotions settle. Calm improves clarity. Another part of control is staying present. Do not bring up old issues. Stay with the current topic. Bringing up the past increases frustration. Focus keeps the conversation manageable. Difficult conversations also benefit from asking questions. Questions invite explanation. They reduce assumptions. They show curiosity. Questions turn confrontation into dialogue. Avoid accusations. Accusations close doors. Curiosity opens them. Another important idea is managing your inner voice. During tension, your mind may tell you stories. They do not respect me. They always do this. These thoughts increase anger. Challenge those thoughts. Focus on facts. Facts reduce emotion. Control comes from clarity. Handling difficult conversations also requires patience. Change does not happen instantly. Understanding may take time. Progress may be slow. Patience shows maturity. Strong communicators know when to continue and when to pause. They do not force resolution. They allow space. Another part is choosing the right environment. Some conversations should not happen in public. Privacy allows honesty. Safety allows openness. Setting matters. Difficult conversations also require honesty. Avoiding truth delays problems. Calm honesty builds solutions. Speak truth without attack. Speak clearly without blame. Another key is ending conversations well, even if agreement is not reached. End with respect. Summarize understanding. State next steps if needed. Clear endings reduce anxiety. Leaving conversations unfinished creates stress. Handling difficult conversations well builds confidence. Each time you face one calmly, fear reduces, skill increases, control improves. Over time, these conversations feel less heavy. People begin to trust you more. They see you as steady. They see you as fair. They see you as safe to talk to. That trust increases your influence. Difficult conversations are not signs of failure. They are signs of engagement. They mean something matters. Handling them well shows leadership. Leadership is not avoiding tension. It is managing it. Calm communicators lead during difficulty. Reactive communicators create chaos. Calm is strength. When you handle difficult conversations with control, your words stay effective. Your relationships stay intact. Your respect grows. This skill changes everything. It changes how people respond to you. It changes how conflicts end. It changes how you see yourself. Because when you can stay calm under pressure, your communication becomes powerful, and people listen. Chapter 12. Becoming someone people want to listen to. Becoming someone people want to listen to is not about tricks. It is not about sounding smart. It is not about controlling conversations. It is about who you are when you speak. It is about how people feel in your presence. It is about trust, clarity, and calm strength. People choose who they listen to. They do not listen because someone talks. They listen because someone makes sense. They listen because someone feels real. Every chapter before this has shown you one truth. Communication with impact starts inside. It begins with awareness. It grows with practice. And it shows through consistency. People want to listen to those who are grounded. When you are grounded, you are not rushing. You are not forcing. You are not chasing approval. You speak because your words matter, not because you need attention. Grounded speakers feel stable. Stability creates safety. Safety creates listening. Another reason people want to listen is clarity. Clear thinkers speak clearly. When your thoughts are organized, your words flow naturally. Confused thinking leads to messy speech. Messy speech loses attention. Clarity comes from slowing down. Clarity comes from intention. Clarity comes from simplicity. People feel relief when they hear clear communication. Their mind does not struggle. Their attention stays present. People also want to listen to those who respect them. Respect shows in tone. It shows in patience. It shows in listening. When people feel respected, they open up. When they open up, communication deepens. Disrespect shuts ears. Respect opens minds. Being someone people want to listen to also means emotional balance. If your emotions control your voice, people feel uneasy. If you control your emotions, people feel safe. Calm voices lead conversations. Reactive voices damage them. Calm does not mean weak. Calm means strong control. People trust those who stay calm under pressure. They trust those who do not explode. They trust those who do not panic. Trust makes people listen longer. Another key part is authenticity. People can feel fake communication. They sense when someone is acting. Acting creates distance. Authenticity creates connection. You do not need perfect words. You need honest ones. When you speak honestly, people relax. They stop guarding. They stop resisting. They start listening. People also want to listen to those who listen first. Listening is powerful. It tells others they matter. When people feel heard, they listen back. Listening is not silent waiting. Listening is active attention. Strong communicators listen with their full presence, not just ears, eyes, body, energy. This creates mutual respect. People want to listen to those who are consistent. When your words and actions match over time, credibility grows. When credibility grows, people take your words seriously. Inconsistent communication creates doubt. Consistent communication creates trust. Trust is built slowly. It is built through repeated moments of honesty, clarity, and respect. Another reason people want to listen is confidence without force. Force creates pressure. Pressure creates resistance. Confidence invites attention. Quiet confidence is powerful. It does not demand listening. It earns it. Confident speakers are comfortable with silence. They do not rush. They do not fill space with noise. They let words breathe. A silence adds weight to words. People also listen to those who understand timing. Saying the right thing at the right moment matters more than saying everything. Timing shows awareness. Awareness shows intelligence. Rushed words lose impact. Timed words gain power. Being someone people want to listen to also means adaptability. Different people need different approaches. Adjusting does not mean losing yourself. It means respecting others. Flexible communication builds bridges. Rigid communication breaks them. People want to listen to those who bring value. Value does not always mean advice. Sometimes value is clarity. Sometimes it is understanding. Sometimes it is calm presence. Value answers one question in the listener's mind. Why does this matter to me? When your words answer that, people stay. Another key part is emotional connection. People connect with feelings before ideas. When your words show empathy, people lean in. When your words show care, people soften. Emotion does not need drama. Emotion needs honesty. People remember those who made them feel understood. Becoming someone people want to listen to also requires patience. Growth does not happen overnight. Communication skills improve slowly. Mistakes are part of the process. Each conversation teaches you something. Each mistake shows you where to improve. Patience with yourself is important. Another important part is humility. Humility keeps learning alive. Arrogance blocks growth. When you stay open, you improve. People listen more to those who admit they are still learning. Learning keeps communication fresh. Being someone people want to listen to also means knowing when not to speak. Silence can protect relationships. Silence can prevent harm. Silence can show wisdom. Not every thought needs a voice. Choosing silence can be powerful. People want to listen to those who speak with purpose. Purpose sharpens words. It removes clutter. It gives direction. When you know why you are speaking, your voice aligns. Alignment creates confidence. Another part is presence. Presence means being fully there, not distracted, not rushed, not divided. Presence makes people feel important. When people feel important, they listen. Presence cannot be faked. It must be practiced. Being someone people want to listen to also means respecting boundaries. You can be honest without being harsh. You can be firm without being aggressive. Balanced communication builds long-term respect. People want to listen to those who stay human. Not perfect, not superior. Human. Human communication connects. Human communication lasts. Over time, these qualities shape how others see you. They begin to trust your voice. They begin to value your opinion. They begin to listen before you even finish speaking. This is not because you speak louder. It is because you speak better. Communication with impact is not about changing who you are. It is about becoming more aware of who you already are. When you speak with clarity, people understand. When you speak with calm, people relax. When you speak with honesty, people trust. And when people trust you, they listen. This is how communication becomes influence. This is how words become power. This is how your voice begins to matter. Not because you demand attention, but because people choose to give it.